I welcome anybody that's arriving in now to this new webinar, Root Causes of Disease. If you're here now and present or watching the replay, I invite you to just relax, have a seat, feel your bottom on the chair or whatever it is you're sitting, or if you're listening, feel your feet on the ground. Come into the present moment, into awareness where we are. Turn this down. I'm going to invite you to take a deep breath in through the nose and hold it. Just relax your body and exhale through the mouth. And repeat this another time. In through the mouth. Hold it and release through the mouth. And close your eyes. Just come into this present moment. Thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up for yourself today, whether you're either on the live or if you're here for the replay. I welcome you. The one thing that we tend to forget is our body needs softness. Our life needs to be calm for our body to heal. And we're coming out of a lifestyle that is fast-paced, we're survival mode, lots of fear, lots of things that we have to worry about. And we don't allow ourselves to slow down. We don't allow ourselves to get the rest we need to allow our body to heal. So my focus and my work is to integrate not only the physical healing with the detoxification, but also with the nervous system and with the emotional and mental states, with our working in our trauma work, our mindset, our self-worth, our self-love, and looking at our patterns that may be contributing to any chronic illness or pain that we may be experiencing at this time. So I welcome you. My birth name is Christine Marie Markham, and most of me know me by Skyra. I go by Skyra. And at first I want to tell you a little bit about this webinar. It's the root causes of chronic illness, disease, things that continually are showing up, or possibly symptoms that keep showing up that you're experiencing that don't seem to go away, and or new symptoms or things that you have possibly gone to the doctor for, or like me, it was a kind of a quick onset. It was a slow process, many, many years, and all of a sudden it just hit me at one time. But if I look back at it, I spent 15 years going to doctors, to therapy, to testing. And I was a fairly healthy person, if you want to consider mindset, for society standards. I exercised, I ate fairly healthy, what I thought that we were taught. And, I didn't really have a whole lot of issues with my health. It was more on the emotional, mental level. And so I was on medications, that they put me on medications for depression and anxiety and all kinds of things for about 15 years. And the thing was, it never helped. It would help. I would think it would help and it didn't. And it was an endless cycle. And then there was just different things during the years, chronic issues with cyst, ovaries, pain, just rashes, things that would come up. And then, there was my past involves addiction. And so all of these things, and then I had a lot of PTSD trauma from childhood. So when all of these things come together and they accumulate, by the time sometimes now, and we're in our 20s and 30s, but for me, it was in my 40s. And it was a big blow up, of extreme stress happened into my life. And several accidents. And what happened was I was experiencing stomach bloating. I had nervous system dysregulation. I had a C-spine, C4, 5, and 6 spinal injury, which they told me I needed surgery to heal, that I would never not experience pain. IBS, I had, so at the end, I had autoimmune, I had cancer. I was quite ill, and there was no help. I would go to doctors, and then it would just like constantly sending me to this specialist and this specialist. And I was sick of it. I knew something was wrong. I knew something was not, there was another answer somewhere. And then one day, I was starting to go to farmers markets and tap into natural food. It was just, I knew that I needed to do something different. And I met this couple, an elderly couple in their 70s, and they had this pain spray, and it was made of natural products. And they sprayed it on my legs because I was experiencing pain and numbness in my legs, horrible extreme pain where you couldn't even touch my legs. And they invited me to their house. So I ended up going, and to make a long story short, they worked with me for 6 weeks and showed me that my previous mindset, that holistic medicine or things that were witchcraft from my religious upbringing, were actually, and they were doing energy healing on me, pressure point therapy, and feeding me. And I was still smoking at the time. I actually smoked at one point, which was crazy. And I could not deny the way I was shifting and changing and how I felt different. They were doing foot detox baths. They didn't go as deep as what I have been through on my own process, but they were my activators for where I am today. So there's always somebody in your life that's going to be an activator, who's going to introduce you, plant the seed to this wisdom and this knowledge in your life. And when it happens, you'll get something inside that tells you this is the path, this is the way. And sometimes it takes us takes us to engage a little bit, to experience, which I did because of my deep mindset programming that, this was, they call it snake oil, which makes me laugh these days because they don't want us to know our power. So with all that, I am today, and I don't like to bring up all the negative, but that's literally what I walk through, and we have to face these things. And to bring me to a place today, I am I'm an intuitive. I have always had it inside me, an intuitive, holistic wellness and detox expert. 12 years in, I've gone into deep research, certifications, and lived experience to fully heal, and come back to a state of radiant health and wellness, healing from all kinds of emotional patterns and trauma, and chronic illness. It is possible. I am convinced that if I had not taken this path, that I wouldn't be here today to share this information with you. So what I do different, what is it that my my work is different. How is it different? For me, it is the spiritual. A lot of people don't talk about it. We talk about the physical body. We talk about trauma. We talk about breaking emotional and mental patterns, but not many people speak about the spiritual aspect. And to be honest with you, after my whole process, I came to realize that the whole process was a spiritual walk. And the spiritual walk was moving from a place of deep fear and lowering all the lower energies that we're carrying in our body and our mental state and our psyche, moving it up to a place of knowing love, our innate wisdom, that we are our own healers and that we are our own authority and we carry the power within ourselves to heal. That is the base of my teaching, to know our own power and to know that we carry innately in our inner being to heal ourselves. Now, the one thing that you have to understand is that in order to do that, you have to believe. You have to believe that it's possible. And as you start to experience, you will see that it's true. A lot of people like to seek outside of themselves. We've been taught to look out here for this to make us better, to ask this person what will make us better. And really, what the sun is right in my eyes, really what we need to learn to do is to go within, to start to learn to tap into our own body, our own innate wisdom, our feelings, to become aware of how our body feels, because our body speaks. Our body is telling us. And sometimes we don't listen until we have chronic illness, and not because we don't know. We don't know there's another way because we weren't taught another way. We were told that we had to go to doctors, we had to take pills, we had to take medications, we had to have this test, we had to have that test, and we had to just an endless hamster wheel. And it doesn't help because it just covers and suppresses the symptoms. It's not getting to the root of the issues and the real truth of how our body operates. And I wanted to mention, by the way, that my background is in nursing. So I'm not coming into this. I had the knowledge of how the cells operate. I knew how the body systems operate. I could tell you the story back when I was little. My grandmother, I lived with my grandmother when I was about a year old until about 4. And my grandmother, when I was 3, told me that I used to have imaginary friends, which today I know as my cosmic connection. When we're children, we don't have any masks, we don't have any, we're connected deeply to the spiritual realm, and a lot of us just don't remember. And my grandmother would always tell me that I was going to be a special nurse one day. And no, I didn't understand that until a few years ago when I started doing and teaching detoxification and holistic wellness back in about 2017, 2018. And I moved out of it. I left and I moved to Hawaii and I went deeper into my own process. So there was more. I had to learn the whole holistic aspect of health, beyond just the physical body and the detoxification and the mindset. So that's what my journey took me through. So this webinar is about, I have notes here. We all the diagnosis is out there. Everything, it doesn't matter what it is, are all stemming from these root causes. So it doesn't matter if it's And there's some variations, obviously, because it affects different parts of the body, and there are different causes, or things that are creating. But I'm talking about the root causes here. I'm talking about the things that have created these imbalances in our body that have contributed to chronic illness or pain or whatever it is that we're experiencing. And so it's not, there's root causes, and this is what I want to bring today. And so the number one thing is our spiritual disconnection, our disconnection from our own innate power, our worth, the fact that our training to seek negativity or fear, as opposed to knowing our own innate power and to be able to transmute our fears into love, and to knowing that we are going to heal, and we're going to focus on the healing and not the pain. We're not going to focus on everything is wrong. We're going to focus on what is right and continue on that momentum. And I can say this because I was the absolute, just until recently, the most negative. I had been raised in that environment, and I always tended to look at the negative or what was wrong. So we have to learn that, which is also consistency. It's a practice. Our daily connection to spirit is a daily practice. It's learning to live a different lifestyle. Number two is what I was just touching on, our inherited programs, our mindsets of fear and disempowerment to seek outside of ourselves, to know that we can heal ourselves. There's a lot of different programs that are based on fear, and to feel that there's something innately wrong with us. So when we go to a doctor, we believe that we've been, for the last 150 years, we've been programmed to go to doctors, that they have the answers, that they have the medications and the science. What we're missing is the connection to our spiritual and nature that's been disconnected from us, our own inner knowing and our intuition. That is what we have to tap into. There is a place for balance for all of this, not just for, I'm going to move myself just a little bit because I have sun in my eyes. So we'll see. It's okay. I'm just going to have to deal with it because I can't move everything right now. So if I'm squinting, that is why I have the sun directly in my eyes. And I'm in this beautiful dome right now, at my friend's healing center, their beautiful property. They are allowing me to use this space to do this webinar. And I'm so grateful for that. I'm actually with them right now in Utah. So I did leave Hawaii just recently, and I'm moving around a little bit and connecting with different communities, and sharing this wisdom and this knowledge with people. So if you happen to be connected to the healing communities, or into working in doing this work, I am open to webinars and co-creations, to be a speaker and a presenter at your retreats, to teach this information and to help people who may be suffering or not knowing where to start with their own inner healing process. So as I speak more, I'll tell you more, you'll understand. So I do welcome any of those types of things. Number three, I've got 5 to touch on today, so I can keep my webinar kind of short. Number 3 is trauma. This is unresolved trauma that lives in our body from a lifetime. Now, what is trauma? People think, oh, trauma was a major accident, or it was something which has obviously going to create a trauma. We think that we are over it if we start feeling better, we've healed. But what happens is our body can also hold that trauma in the body. And what is trauma? It is something that happens too quick, too fast for our um, inner being, our body to process it, so it doesn't move through the body. It stays in our body, in our cells, in our cellular structure. And there are processes to learn to release these traumas, and there's different ways to do this. And I incorporate this into my one-on-one work and in my group processes, because it's super important to learn to calm the nervous system when we're healing. And when we're in a place of fight or flight, our parasympathetic nervous system is dysregulated. We're always, and if we've experienced CPTSD or any PTSD, this is usually present in our body, and it could be keeping us from healing fully. So number 4 is, and then also, before I'm going to go back to trauma really quick, is that we can inherit these trauma responses in ourselves from the generations back in womb, from the mother and the father. So it's not only do I deal in your life, in the present moment of your life, I'm dealing in ancestral trauma and cosmic trauma. I do bring that into my work. Number 4 is that from birth, we are inundated today with toxins, chemical toxins in our environment, things that we're putting on our body, things that we're using for household cleaners. We are getting inundated with EMFs, radiation from our phones. These all affect the way our cells operate, the energy of our cells, our life force energy. And this is another training that I incorporate energy into my work, because when we begin to understand energy and chemical toxins and the things in our environment that we're exposed to, then we start to understand how these are contributing to our chronic illness, and be able to start eliminating these things out of our life. A lot of it is present in our food, because we are dealing with corporations that are in business for a profit. The faster, the better, the more they can produce for the cheapest amount. We're eating non-food right now. People think that processed foods and things in packages are food, and it is just destroying our cells. It's destroying how our body's operating. And the way I can explain it the best is our body, say if we have a car, you say you have a car and you have to give your car regular maintenance. The oil needs to be changed, the filters need to be changed. And if we're just going on and we're building up all these toxins in our body, it's going to eventually overflow. If we don't change the filter and we're not releasing the toxins out of our body, because it's a continuous buildup and our body cannot. And we have a liver, and that does that. But when we are already inundated with toxins from the time we're born, and by the time we're already experiencing symptoms in our teenage years at this point, by the time we're in our 20s and our 30s, we're already experiencing chronic illness and symptoms. We're a lot of big thing right now is gluten. People saying I'm going to have go on a gluten-free diet. What that really is the way they're processing the wheat and the oats and the glyphosate that they're spraying on the actual products, the wheat and the gluten, so that it is not really the gluten, it is the pesticides. Our body, they destroy our stomach system. They're eating holes in our stomach. It's affecting our brain, why we're getting cancer, why we're experiencing so many nervous system dysregulations or dysregulations. We're experiencing a lot of Alzheimer's, heart issues. All of this is from the same root causes. And what I teach is how to eliminate these toxins and, where to start, and going into the different body systems to actually detox them so that we can reset our entire system. That is what is needed. We can't just take a simple green juice. It definitely helps, but when you're experiencing chronic illness, and I had moved through every diet out there. I went to what is that, all the diets, the keto, I went to vegan, I went to just oh, all of them. I can't remember the names right now, but I went to all of them for about 18 months doing different ones, years, and it just didn't, I mean, I got a little bit, it was a temporary relief. It wasn't until I started moving into detoxing my body after my neck injury and getting exposure to Dr. Robert Morse in Florida. He's a naturopathic doctor who teaches detoxification and gets people out of wheelchairs. I started following him and actually went into certifications programs with him way back in 2016. And that's where it really started for my own healing back then. And it was a miracle. That's all I can say. It was a miracle. And if only everybody knew the truth. This is what I'm here to do. It's my legacy, to bring the truth to people that will understand that we have the ability to heal ourselves, but we have to start. And it's like a puzzle, going to each pieces of going to different pieces to excuse me just for 1 second. I think I got somebody coming in, and there's my thing. So it's like different pieces of a puzzle when we're healing to excuse me, give me just 1 second. I wanted to see if I can put this on just the host here, but I don't know how to do that. So we're going to have everybody on this here right now. Okay, so back into what I was talking about is that so the healing process is like a puzzle. We have to go into the basics to start, and then move from the basics out to start from the beginning, which is detoxing certain organs, changing our diet or lifestyle, and then moving to different areas to find what is exactly going on. Excuse me, just 1 second. I'm trying to figure out how to no, sorry, wrong one. I am still learning how to use this Zoom. It's been a while since I've done this, but anyway. Okay, so that was number 4. From birth, we inherit all these toxins and traumas, and it's a process to reverse all of these things, and that's what I start with. Number 5 is a big one. It's trust, not only in spirit, but it's trust in ourselves, to realize that spirit lives within us, that we have to learn to develop our own intuition. We have to start listen to our body, and we have to know that, to trust ourselves, to trust if we go to a doctor and they're telling us that there's nothing wrong, and we're telling them that we're experiencing these symptoms, and they're telling us, well, sorry, there's nothing wrong with you, it's all in your head. And that's what I literally experienced for years. So when that happens, we began to believe that it's just that we don't trust ourselves, and we don't know, and then we don't know what else to do. We don't know that there's another way. So these are the areas that I teach on. These are the root causes, and of course, from these root causes and from the mindset, so number 1, our spiritual disconnection. Number 2, inherited programs or mindset programming, our disempowerment. Number 3, our trauma, inherited trauma, chronic our PTSD that we've experienced in our life or inherited. Number 4, the toxins and the chemical toxins that we're exposed to. It's more than just chemical toxins. It's environmental toxins that we've been exposed to since before birth. And number 5, our own inner trust and self, our own intuition. These are literally these are the root causes. Now, these will go out to have things in our body, like our life force energy, because it lowers our life force energy, our energy field around our body, so that then we end up inheriting immune system disorders. We get parasites and things like that, which that's more later in a later thing. But the root causes are what I mentioned. So with that, I want to bring up the offerings that I have at this moment, and I welcome you to contact me directly if you're experiencing any kind of chronic illness or pain, or things that you've tried everything like I have and things aren't going away. I have your answer. I have it, and I've proved it through myself, my own process, and clients that I've worked with in the past, to heal things like autoimmune disorders and chronic pain. And most of it was centered around past traumas. And it really didn't have much to do with what they were eating. At this time, I'm opening up a group container and starting in October, and it is going to be a energetic and a resilience reset with a liver and gallbladder cleanse, which will begin the process for your healing. You'll start learning. The only way that we can really truly learn is by experiencing. We can take all the information we want, but if we don't actually take action and experience it, then we'll never know. So anybody who's on the fence about this healing process, who wants to experience something, I would recommend this 7-week program. And you can contact me about that. I also I have openings right now for one-on-one work for people from 12 to 24 weeks, which we go deep into the whole entire process of healing. We will dig into all your past traumas, I work into family constellations. I work into everything that I just spoke about, because I work in the holistic realm. I don't concentrate on just one thing. So if this information has been helpful for you, and you would like to co-create, you want me to speak at an event or anything like that, I would love to offer that as well. I thank you for being here, and I'm going to go ahead and end the recording now. And yeah, and I also have, by the way, I have a group. It's on a private platform, because a lot of this information is being censored on social media. It's being censored on Google. They're not going to let us know this, because the medical system is, and the whole system is based off profit. So if people start learning how to heal themselves, then they won't have business. And this is my goal, is to enable and help people learn for now and the future generations, that we have the innate ability, we have everything that we need here on Mother Earth to heal ourselves. Have a beautiful day, and thank you for being here.